I always want to know, like, how do people get involved in the lowrider scene? How did you get first introduced into this scene?
You're my love, you're my angel, you're the girl of my dreams.
I've always been in the lowrider since I was a kid, right?
Okay.
But my grandfather had built a 69 Chevelle when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it was always a dream of mine to have a 69 Chevelle. So that was always the first car, or the most expensive car I went after. And so I bought that one, and I started having some problems with the motor.
My uncle, he got me involved. Not so much involved, I just watched him cruising.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He had a 68, I remember when he bought it, when he put the hydros on, did the interior, all that good stuff, man, and I liked it since then, so I wanted to do the same thing too. So I grew up always with that mentality that when I'm gonna grow up, I'm gonna get one of those cars. And sure enough, luckily I've had a couple of cars come my way. I even bought one car from him. He's still driving a 68 Impala right now. He's got another one in parts for sale, just so the next person can go on. Might give it to one of his grandkids now. But I'm glad that, I did learn that, from my family. So my grandfather, they called him El Maestro. He was a mechanic in the hood. Everybody always, came to him, got their cars worked on by him. So that was pretty much, my family's always been in cars. So
I kind of parked it in the garage. I got my Fleetwood. My Platinum Princess, I bought it bone stock from Waco.
Okay.
I started pouring money into that, pouring time into that, and what ended up happening was we were taking it to shows, we were winning awards, and then my wife was like, hey, I want something to drive. So I was like, all right, cool, what do you want? We'll go over there and we'll see what you like, get something. She's like, well, how about the Chevelle? And I'm like, hold on now. That's my Chevelle.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? You buy a brand new motor for it, you can have it.
Okay.
My wife went and bought a great motor from Summit, so she bought a 396.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and put that up, and we started building that one for her. So she started switching stuff around, kind of changing up the build. And then as I'm building up Platinum, and Platinum's like my star child, right, with the cars. But here recently, now we got the van.
Yeah.
And I wanted to build something for my kids so they can have fun with at the shows and at the lowrider events. And so, I put the TV in there and the Xbox, and I made it just fun for them. So I'm actually more excited about the van right now in this moment,
Okay.
So that's kind of my star child right now.
What does this scene mean to you? Because we look around, and in hindsight, it's lots of different race, different cultures, different walks of life. What does this scene mean the most to you?
The thing that I love about lowriding is that you can tell a story through a car, and it's almost like no other type of, like, not hot rods, not with trucks, anything else. To me, lowriding is like you can really put your heart and soul into each car, and you can put yourself in each build,
It means most to me is that I'm keeping the tradition going. I'm giving this car to my son. It's going to be his. This is his first time that I let him do everything. He brought the car in. He went to get the paperwork, for the show, came, put everything, got it. He had a little hiccup on it, but he got it done. He cleaned it down, now that I'm getting older in life, and, I said we're getting older and I'm getting, a little bit more, slower, but now that he's picking it up, it makes me proud to see that, He's not going the other route that I went, because I went another route before I came to, really started stressing the low riding thing. Even though I went to game banging around for a while, I was still into low rides, I still, kept that going.
So to me, that's what I love about lowriding. You can literally put yourself into a car, and when somebody goes up and looks at your car, they can see you through that car. So that's what I love about it. That's to me where it's at. So you go through my car, and my car in particular, if you go throughout my entire car, you can see stories. You can see where I've been, my kids, my hard work, and everything was touched by me. Everything was done by me. So to me, that's what makes a car build. That's what makes a lowrider.
But now that it's his turn, he's gonna keep it going, and I like that. Me, my dad, we see him, he's picking up on it. So it's cool. Now he wants to do a little bit more to his car. Now he's more into the competition part. I done showed him, how to calculate points and, what class you're in and stuff like that. So he's learning little by little, and that's why I'm glad. I learned from another guy from our car club. It's just little bits and pieces you pick up, man. It's not just cruising and all that. You know, there's different ways of doing it. There's some people out there, you know, they're not going to get to this point. They're going to be out there cruising all the time. And, you know, my son's moving on to the competition part now.
What is one thing you value the most in any build? Is it the paint, the hydro system, the wheels, the time spent on it, the engraving, the chrome? What's the most valued thing in your eyes in every build?
The time spent.
Okay.
When it comes to building a car, the time that you put into the car.
Man, the competition, you know, the thing that makes me want to win, you know what I mean? You know, yeah, I see you got a nice car. Don't get me wrong, back in the day, people used to get mad because I would hit the switch on them and stuff. I don't have no hydro, all that. The way I see it, man, if I hit a switch on you, it's because you got a nice car, man. You know what I'm saying? No need to get mad about it and go, you know, yeah, you know, go, like they say, up your game, homeboy. Go get you some hydros, man. Save up. Yeah, I know. That's one thing I stress to a lot of these guys that come to the club. Hey, man, you know what? It doesn't happen overnight for some people, man. You know, not everybody does the same thing. Not everybody has a good paying job. You know, sometimes you got to take the long route. Yeah, they got rent-to-own tires and all that. Hey, man, if you got to, man. You know, just don't get yourself in a bind where you're borrowing money and you're not going to pay it back.
Some people, everybody's pockets are different, you know, so I'm not going to judge a car that's on a turntable. I'm like, oh, that's the best car in the world, and he maybe hasn't put one finger on that car. There's a guy that's in the garage and all he's got is primer on the car, but he's put time and effort and energy into that car, love into that car. He has it out on the boulevard. He has it out on the streets, hitting switches, you know. To me, that's what makes a lowrider. That's what makes a car. And so to me, the time that you spend in your car, that's my favorite part about lowrider.
Life is life, you know, you got to live your life. If you can't afford a car, you know, you can't keep up with it and step out. You know, there's a lot of problems with these car clubs, man. They always expect everybody to keep up with them, man. Not everybody's got that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know, and I always stress that, man. Worry about your household first before you worry about your car.
Does a lowrider have to have hydros or are bags acceptable in the game?
Or you gonna start a fight on the
Yeah, we all start a fight on the internet. Heck yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I did hydros when I was younger. I was in the competition. I came out in the magazine hopping, all that good stuff. That's why when we had the magazine. You know, now the magazine, you know, it's on computer now, everything. Thing is, man, you know, if you're not really going to hop your car in the competition, there's no need for hydraulics.
And to me, it doesn't matter. Again, it's the same thing. It's the heart, the spirit that goes into it. So, you know, it doesn't matter if it has bags, if it has this, if it has that. You know, there's a lowrider's, you know, style that's involved in it. But to me, it's about being on the streets, you know, representing who you are, your club, whatever it is. You know, put your story through your car. That's what makes a lowrider. You know what I mean?
I stress that a lot. You know, a lot of young guys, oh, I want hydros. That's fine. You can have that. But are you ready for the money it's going to cost? Because I used to be heavy on the switch. I used to break my shit down every weekend and booyah. Like homeboy, one of the youngsters said in his video, you know, break it, fix it, do it again. You know, it costs money, man. You know, you blow. Hydros is a lot more problem. Ever since I had bags on both my cars, very rarely do I have a problem. And you know, I like to hop it and everything. You know, I'm finna add nitrous to this one maybe. I'm just haven't moved up there yet. But you know, cause if I don't know, I don't want to mess with it. You know what I mean? That's the thing you gotta learn.
Right.
You know, hydros. You know, you gotta have money for that, man. You know, batteries are expensive, hoses bust, and then if your stuff breaks down while you're on the freeway or something, man, you know, towing it. You know, it's all part of the game. It's all good and fun until your car breaks down and you're stuck somewhere. And then sometimes, you know, homeboys don't want to deal with it and they run off. Oh man, I'll be right back, and they don't come back, man.
Yeah. You
got to call a tow truck to get yourself home, man.
Yeah.
As long as your ride's on spokes and it's looking clean, going up and down, man. To me, that's all it ever was, man. Yeah, I like the loud music and all that. Now I don't like it as loud as much anymore. I used to have super duper loud systems. You know, now it's like 110, 112, I'm good. You know.
Yeah. I
like to hear the words a little bit more than what I used to.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. Well, I guess your values change for you when you get older, so you know.
Yeah. I have a project car myself. It's a 93 Volvo 240.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a Swedish car here, and I want to be one of the first to bring I would say like an overseas car, like a foreign car into the game.
Yeah.
There's some around, but not as popular, you know? What's the first thing I should do to make it into a lowrider?
You asking somebody like me who builds cars, it's hard because I like to go crazy. You know, I like to go over the top. You know, so it just depends. You know, so you can go a million different ways.
Okay. What would be let's say like the budget friendly build? Budget friendly.
You know, to me, and people say this all the time on the internet. You put spokes on a car, it doesn't make it a lowrider. But that's usually the first thing that I do with every single car. I put spokes on it.
Okay.
I gotta have my 13x7s.
Okay. How many spokes?
I love cross legs.
Okay.
So I've had hundreds 100 inch, or 100 inch. I've had 100 spoke, 72, all that. But I don't know. These past, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years, I've been into to cross lace. I love cross lace.
Okay.
I put cross lace on everything right now. All right, even on my steering wheel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, I appreciate the time, brother.
Alrighty, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, I say for what you're thinking about building, that'd be good in a Euro class. You know, some of the Euros are coming back now. They're bringing some of these old cars back out, and they look nice. Don't get me wrong, back in the day, I'm like, that's not a low ride. But now I look at it like, yeah, it's a low ride. But, you know, back in the day, it was just a new thing, you know what I'm saying? Like now the big wheel thing is in effect, you know, so, you know, it's just, low riding changes with time, man, little by little. Little by little, it's just harder for us to accept that we're getting older.
Yeah.
And the values are changing a little bit.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, you want to build something different, that's I always like something different. That's why I like the El Camino a little bit more. Personally, I don't want to, you know, if you get mad, oh well, fucking Impala. I got a Monte Carlo, homeboy. I say Monte Carlos are more of a chance for a lowrider than an Impala because, you know, hey man, you know what? You got books to find parts. You got websites to find parts. You try 77 Monte Carlo, man. We got to hunt down parts, man. You know.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you want to be into it, man.
Okay.
You know, you're looking at a Volvo. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know where you're gonna find parts for that.
Oh, I definitely can. I haven't already.
Yeah. So you know, you're different in the game than we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can find Chevy places. You know. You and Volvo, you know, that's gonna be harder. You know,
It's gonna be hard. But I want to be that. I want to be that one like statement piece.
Something
like,
different. Like
something
if
different.
you look now, everybody's bringing back the old school Z-Racks and all that. All the old school '90 trucks. These Caesars are hitting. Yo, man, back in the day, I'm like, you know. But now, you know, we accept it a little bit more. Yeah, they do look nice, man.
Yeah.
If I had money, I'd have one myself. You know, if I was really into it that bad. You know.
Oh yeah.
I've always liked an S10. You know, it's just. I know, you know, now it's more accepted. Back in the day, like big wheels, we didn't consider that low ride. Now, you know, it's pretty much accepted now, you know.
Yeah.
It's not fully low rider, but, you know, you see them with the spokes, you know, 20-inch spokes and all that. Yeah, you know, they still got airbags and stuff. And if you look at this one right next to us, man, you know, it's pretty much up there, man. If all this was on a low ride, you know, he'd probably be in one of break down to a 20x20, compete, you know what I mean? Head up, you know. Just,
So
everybody's got different preferences, you know.
Hey, yeah, brother. Hey, man, I appreciate your time, brother.